Who is going to die in Star Wars Rebels Season 4? Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm coming to you today with a prediction video, and I want to give a spoiler warning if you're not caught up on Star Wars Rebels or if you haven't seen Rogue One, because I'm going to talk about what's going on in both of those shows up to date, or at least Star Wars Rebels show and the Rogue One movie, and use a lot of that as justification for some of my predictions. So let's start off with supporting characters. Obviously, characters that we've seen in the movies already that are also supporting characters are totally safe. And this means characters like Wedge and Hobby. We've seen them in the movies. We know they're safe. Let's move on. Next up, Ketsu Onyo. As much as I would have liked to see Ketsu Onyo flying around in the Battle of Scarif with her Shadowcaster, I think her absence from that isn't necessarily mean that she's dead. It doesn't mean that anything in particular, because she's a bounty hunter and she's out going around doing her own business. I do think, however, that we will see her in Season 4, and while that does mean that she's at slight risk because the Mandalorian Civil War is going on and there's going to be a lot of danger, I don't think there's any benefit to killing her character, so I put her down as moderately safe. Next up is Ahsoka. I put Ahsoka down as a total mystery. Now, why am I talking about Ahsoka? Well, the reason is, in the Rebels Recon episode where they talked about 0 Hour, they gave us a little preview of the Mandalorian Civil War. But some keen fans have picked up that the Ahsoka theme song was playing in the background, which means Ahsoka is likely to show up in Season 4. They'll probably be finishing up her story arc and telling you what happened as a result of her battle with Vader. If she is still alive, then I think she is at risk. However, because we don't know if she's still alive or if she has transcended into the Force or some other form, I put her Ahsoka down as a total mystery. Next up is Agent Kallus. I think Kallus is very likely to die, mostly because of his absence from the Battle of Scarif. Kallus is an Imperial agent, or at least now he was an Imperial agent, and so his knowledge would have been significant for that battle. His absence is noted, and I think it's likely that he will be dead by then. However, I'll caveat that with he did escape some sure death situations like Season 3. He managed to get away from Governor Price and Grand Admiral Thrawn and what was almost certainly going to be his death. So he is pretty resourceful. Next up, Governor Price. Governor Price is almost certain to die. In fact, I would rank her as #1 amongst supporting characters in order of likelihood of dying. And the reason for that isn't so much that I think the rebels will kill her, but I think somebody like Thrawn or Darth Vader, or even the Emperor himself, will kill her due to her failures. It may not just be her failure of allowing Kallus to escape, but it could be some other failures that she will have in Season 4. I think she will definitely continue to be in Season 4, even if Thrawn exits the show, but I think she will be around and she will face punishment. Hondo Anaka. Hondo, I think, is absolutely safe, and I'm sure he will show up in Season 4 because he's always just around the corner, and he shows up in all kinds of fun-filled episodes. I would be heartbroken if they killed Hondo. I don't think it serves a storytelling purpose other than if they just wanted to make me cry, because especially with the voice actor, I have very fond memories going all the way back to Baldur's Gate, having Minsk and his space hamster Boo. Give this video a thumbs up if you remember that, huh? And if you haven't, go check it out. Google it and look up Baldur's Gate and the character Minsk and the space hamster Boo. Amazing character, and he makes Hondo a lot of fun. All right, I also want to talk about Fen Rao and all the rest of the Mandalorians. I think they're all about even as far as likelihood of dying. I wouldn't put anyone above the others, but there's going to be a war, so they're all at high risk, but I don't have enough information to say who's most likely to survive and who's most likely not to survive. They're all at very high risk because it's going to be a nasty, nasty war. All right, now I'm going to talk about some of the main characters. These are your characters who are basically in every episode. I am going to start off with Thrawn, although I understand he's not in every episode. I would never put Thrawn down with the supporting characters. He's the greatest character in the universe right now, and he deserves to be up here with the big boys. So Thrawn is absolutely safe. The reason I say that is I have a number of videos talking about Thrawn's future and what the future has in store for him, and you can check those out. And as a matter of fact, you should check those out after this video. But Thrawn is totally safe. He will die someday, but not in Season 4, and probably not anytime soon. Next up, Hera and Chopper. I'm putting them both together because they're both safe. We know this from Rogue One. We see Chopper on screen, so we know for a fact he's okay, and we hear Hera called by name, so we know that she is okay as well. Just doesn't mean they couldn't be injured, but we know that they are safe. Next up, Ezra and Sabine. I have done videos for both Ezra and for Sabine explaining why I think they are going to be safe for a long time. Basically, I'll summarize and say they're pretty much the future. They're young characters that are going to take Lucasfilm in a different direction and allow a new brand of storytelling that can have multiple movies in a row or multiple stories in a row without having to tie into the Skywalker family. So I think both Ezra and Sabine are the future, and I think they're safe because of that. Next up, Rex. I think Rex is totally safe, and I'll tell you why. It's because of Return of the Jedi. Hey, if you've seen it, I've talked about it before. Rex is in Return of the Jedi. I want to tell you that this is not officially canon, but it's it's like head canon. This has totally got to be Rex, so Rex has to be safe. Because if they kill Rex, then that means that guy in Return of the Jedi is not Rex, and then my life is going to be just shattered, because that's totally Rex. And then I don't want to be living in denial, saying, no, that is Rex. And then somebody else saying, no, but Rex died. And I'm like, no, but that's Rex in Return of the Jedi. So I think Rex is safe because I think they want that to be Rex. Or they at least want it to be headcanon. They want us to think that it's Rex in Return of the Jedi. All right, AP5. He's one of our newer Ghost crew members, but I think he's absolutely not safe. He's likely to die, but not confirmed. And the reason I say that is because he's usually seen with Chopper. He's usually walking and doing things and talking to Chopper. And when we see Chopper at the Battle of Scarif, AP5 isn't with him. There could be a number of reasons for this, but it could also be because AP5 died. One reason could be, and maybe one of the filler episodes or throwaway episodes or whatever you want to call it, that centers around AP5 and Chopper, actually ends up being a surprise hit, and it tugs at your heartstrings because AP5 has to sacrifice himself to save the crew or something like that. Anything like that is possible, so AP5 is likely to die because we don't see him next to Chopper and Scarif. I know that might be a weak prediction, but that's my prediction. Next up, Kanan. Kanan is very much at risk, and I hate to say it because I would love to see Kanan survive. I've actually done a video about Kanan's future as well, talking about some different possibilities that the future could have in store for him. However, I think he's very likely to die, and we have to acknowledge that because he's trained Ezra. From a storytelling device, he's done what he needs to do. He's helped Ezra get to a point where he even said in the season 3 finale, he doesn't have anything left to teach Ezra. And it seems at that point that they were ready to kill him off or let him sacrifice himself. That didn't happen yet, but now that we know that, any episode is a potential chance for Kanan to die. I hope it's not the case. I'd love to see him go on and explore that middle of the Force like Bendu, like the Bendu situation, but that certainly may not be the case, and we have to prepare for that. Next up is Zeb, and this is my last one. Zeb, I think, is most likely to die. Some people may disagree with me or be a little surprised why I would rank Zeb over Kanan, and here's why. Zeb's already saved his people. Zeb's already kind of completed his story arc. There's really nothing left for Zeb to do. He's a character that was unsure of himself, had his own internal demons. He rose above that. He's completed his entire story arc. And in season 3, especially towards the end, he wasn't doing anything of significance. All of Zeb's episodes, he was kind of in garbage throwaway positions, and his character specifically wasn't important to the episode. You might disagree on a couple of them, but I think he's a character who had huge episodes, and now the downfall he's taken into just having these very minor appearances in episodes tells me that they're probably about done with his character. And it's a shame because Steve Blum is a really good voice actor, and so I would love to see him actually get a new significant story arc, but I think they're done at the point where Zeb is ready to go. And there's another reason why I think he's likely to die, not just from a storytelling perspective, but also from a live-action movie perspective. If they were to do a Star Wars Rebels live-action movie, and this is what I was talking about with Ezra and Sabine being the future, if they wanted to go ahead and do that, Zeb would easily be the hardest character for them to do. He'd have to be very heavily puppeteered or CGI based. He'd be a very expensive character to do, and if he's dead, it just makes that movie that much easier to create, and it allows do a lot more scenes with actual actors. And as a matter of fact, all of the voice actors are pretty good matches for their characters, with the exception of Zeb. So you could bring on all of the voice actors to play their characters on screen, or maybe just an episode there, maybe an episode of a standalone episode just for the fans, or maybe a web exclusive or something like that. I would love to see some live action Star Wars Rebels, and Zeb kind of stands in the way of that. Or it doesn't, not completely, because Lucasfilm can do some amazing things and they certainly have the budget for it, but I think if you have to kill one character in the season finale, and you're going to look at budget's going to be a factor, and killing Zeb allows the future of this entire crew to be able to do more things with less animation budget. So I think his story is done, and he's the most expensive character for them to potentially do in a live action movie. That's why I think Zeb is going to die. So what do you think, guys? Did I miss anybody? Did I get anything totally wrong? Or do you actually agree with some of what I've wrote? Check out my other videos kind of explaining the details of why I think Thrawn and Ezra and Sabine and Kanan and where they're going. Let me know what you think, guys. But thank you so much for watching. And as always, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Have a great day.